Alright. Am I good to go then?
Yes.
Alright. Hello. So this is Arabian Nights. It's a French kind of clone of Prince of Persia 3D. It's pretty much all you need to know. I guess I'll give you a countdown.
You?
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so Arabian Nights. This game is extremely broken. I'll go over why soon, but I first need to show off a cutscene, and I'm going out of my way to actually show it. Like, you don't do this in normal runs, but
Don't be afraid.
it's good.
My heart trembles for your beautiful eyes, Ali. Come closer, darling. It is I, Melissa, your sweet princess. How happy I am to see you again.
Say your prayers, you scum of the earth.
So, you're not supposed to go to this cutscene for the normal run, but I wanted to show that off. Normally you're supposed to just go to this wall, and the ground here is uneven, and because this game is really well made, it actually allows me to go through it, and once I'm completely through, right about now, I just turn around a little bit more, and I fall for a while, and I might pick up a few items. When you hit the bottom of the level, you respawn at the top, and you also pick up some predetermined items. I'm not sure which ones, but you just do. And yeah, when you go out of bounds, you just reset your position when you get to the bottom, and that way you can wrap around the level.
And can you show the people watching, like, if you just tap W, how far you run forward?
Oh sure, I can totally do that.
Because that's what baffled me the most when I played this at ESA.
So, okay, I need to walk back a little bit. So, the controls of this game are amazing. This is how far, well, that's not even all the way you walk. Let me open this door, walk all the way back, and you'll see how far you actually walk. It's absolutely insane how...
It's like, yeah, tapping it
Yeah.
for one frame, you run forward like 10 feet.
Yeah. This kind of makes it annoying to actually get used to the controls. Luckily, most of the time you're just running, so you don't really have to think about it that much, but doing tiny adjustments is actually kind of annoying. Alright, so that's episode 1. If we didn't really see much of it. The girl in this cutscene is Melissa. She's the first wife we're gonna be getting in the game, because there's some story about the Sultan's daughters all turning 21, I believe, and if they don't marry on their 21st birthday, they will be exiled, and the Grand Vizier takes over. So we run through the sewers here, and jump up this rope, or chain I guess, and there's a first boss fight coming up, and we used to think that the magic in this game was the way to go for combat.
Be very vigilant. He is very fast and clever. The master will not be pleased if we fail. Go.
But we figured out that there's a stealth mode in this game. Don't ask me why. It's just there. And this is looking kind of bad. But there's a stealth mode. Oh shit, this is actually bad. Okay, I'm gonna reload. Wow, that aim. And this should work out. Okay, this works. So stealth mode is really broken because the bosses expect you to... they basically don't expect you to be able to sneak behind them.
My savior.
Come on, shut up for a
Here
second.
you are at last. Quickly, let's go back and see my father. You know, I'm protected by the good genie who created me, and no one can kiss me before marrying me. Should that happen, the good genie would immediately take me back to my father.
Oh.
Well then, give me a kiss, my pet. Then meet me at the palace.
So, they basically didn't expect you to be able to use stealth mode on bosses. And the bosses share code with the regular enemies. And the regular enemies, they all die from a single hit with stealth mode. So, we just sneak behind the bosses, and they just instantly die, if you can sneak behind them. So that's extremely overpowered. And it's a kind of recent development. Gotti did a run at AGDQ this year, and after that a bunch of people actually started running the game. Hello? Can I get up? There we go. And that's when we basically figure out how broken this game actually is. Because we figured out quite a bunch of things. One of the big developments is that we found a way to skip all the cutscenes. Not that you want to in this game, because the cutscenes are amazing. But yeah, it's definitely an option. And it actually saves like 7 minutes in this run if you skip all the cutscenes. Also, I make a lot of use of the quick save system, because this game, if you get softlocked or if you get in combat accidentally, the AI will completely ruin your day, because they will completely softlock you. This game was not well made. But yeah, in this level you basically collect 5 puzzle pieces, and then you go to the end and there's like a genie that talks about stuff. I don't know. I don't really know the exact plot of this game. I've never really actually beaten it. Gotti actually did the run of this game where he just played through it casually. And the plot of this game is actually a lot more complex than we thought. So initially we thought that the Grand Vizier was evil, but he's not the ultimate evil.
Thank you for freeing me, my good friend. We shall meet again.
So this is the genie that created the Sultan's 5 daughters, and this is actually the level where we're gonna meet the Sultan for the first time. But if I'm gonna have my way, we're not gonna actually hear him talk that much. So this, when I submitted this run, I actually had a category name of something bizarre like any % most cutscenes unless there's like a reason to skip it for comedic purposes or something like that. And we're gonna try doing one of those skips soon, when we get to the actual palace. Right here we jump out of bounds, and at some point we'll land on the floor. And then we walk up to a sort of boss. He's not really tough. Even without stealth mode he's easy to kill. And then we enter the palace. And in the palace we're actually gonna be getting the most broken item in the game. Which allows us to do a lot of really cool stuff. Alright, that's that boss. Like I said, stealth mode takes care of everything. Alright, I'm gonna do a new route for this level. I hope it works out. This should work, I hope. We got the flute. That's the main goal. Where am I? I know where I am, roughly. This should be fine. Yeah, okay, so I needed to land right here because there's a pot with a bomb in this room right here. And we're gonna need all the bombs we can get in this route. And we actually did reroute a bunch of levels to actually pick up a lot of bombs, because we stopped using magic. And that meant that... oh yeah, I'm completely forgetting something. The flute is really broken, I'll get to that. But we basically cut out magic completely, because stealth mode is a thing. But there were a couple of bosses that still need you to fight them regularly. Okay. and that's where the bombs and the knives come in. I'm gonna be jumping to this place. This is... oh, I'm dead. That happens. That is actually the second wife. We're gonna seduce her by doing a dance with her. Where am I? So this is a bit of an issue with this game. Once you're out of bounds, you don't really see much anymore. Oh, I see the light spot there. I can flute jump over there. So the flute, it's super broken. Once you get the flute and you use it, it actually creates like a platform below you. And you can jump off of that platform, which allows you to air jump indefinitely. And that actually gives you a lot of reach in this game. Now for the second wife, we need to seduce her by doing a dance. And it's basically Simon Says, but all the moves you have to do have some weird kind of name. The cutscene just before this actually explains it, but I'm just gonna skip through that, because I can. It's nothing really too interesting, it's just the move names with an example. Okay, no cutscene skip.
Where am I?
Nice.
Who are you? You do not look terribly noble, and yet I feel troubled, attracted, bewitched. I am overwhelmed with joy from being near you. Quick, let us go see my father so that he may unite us.
So that cutscene, you basically go from, wait, who are you, to, hey, let's get married in like 5 seconds, and it's the best thing. In this cutscene, the game allows you to have a little bit of control over the character in cutscenes, and I'm turning my mouse left constantly right now. This will actually, as we see right now, break the cutscene, which allows me to move around, and the best thing is, I can kill the Sultan, hopefully. There we go, and this should skip the cutscene partially. There we go, Grand Vizier is dead, so we win. That's actually the last boss we fight in the game, but this is not the actual last fight. Oh, and the Sultan is alive again.
I simply wished to point out to His Majesty that
The Vizier is still dead, though.
was going to rise soon, and that our valorous seducer had only one day left to ease your most majestuous sorrow.
Yes. Thank you for bringing us back to the harsh reality, most precious Vizier. My other daughters are out of the palace. I feel it. Make haste, my son.
Damn it. So if you kill the Sultan in the right place in this cutscene, the cutscene just ends. And the cutscenes are actually broken in a lot of ways in this game. The way to actually skip cutscenes is to just turn down the volume of certain things in the volume menu, and they will just completely skip. But again, we don't want to skip any of the cutscenes in this game. In this level we're gonna be jumping out of bounds, and this level is really long normally, but the ending is right here, and we just jump over here and get to the next part. Now, there's one problem with flute jumping. If you have your sword out while trying to do flute jumps, you can actually get stuck in jumping in a certain direction, and that actually can completely screw you over. Now for this level there's a bunch of running around, and there's some puzzle you have to do. It's really annoying, so I'm not gonna do it. And we're just gonna zip over to the exit here. Now this episode coming up is actually one of the few episodes that isn't completely broken, or levels I should say. We do start out by jumping out of bounds again, and that was actually super smooth. There's an invisible ceiling above this part of the level, and the invisible ceilings are actually kind of hard to actually get through, because you need to jump a specific height, and you need to be... To get through the ceiling, your head needs to be sticking through it a certain amount. But you can't actually see how far your head is sticking through it in this level. So it can be kind of hard to actually go through the ceiling there.
Good day, Lord Gardener. I'm the new apprentice.
I do seem awfully young for this profession, lad. It's just not like in the olden days. Well, to start with, go get me some pear pips in the fruit garden. I need them for my experiments. The password is, at the Akaba plate, plant hydrangeas.
So that's the gardener. I'll just spoil it here. The gardener is the actual evil guy in this story. I need to hit this guy with magic. There we go. And for this level we need to do some gardening, so we start out by picking up this bucket. And I'm intentionally stalling here because this bucket is, for some reason, super heavy, and this is the max walking speed. You saw how fast I was moving around before this, and now we're just stuck to this snail space. And it's really annoying because this level is basically just carrying around a bucket. That's basically the entire level, and yeah, there's really not much to go into. But one thing I do want to mention is I was thinking about how broken this game was a few days ago, and I was trying to think of anything that wasn't actually broken in this game. I don't think I came up with anything. That's how bad it is.
What's funny is that the game devs, their previous game, I think it was like Ashcan Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
And that one's, it's like, it's still not a great game, but it's like, it's functionally way better. It's way less buggy.
No, not at all. Also,
oh really?
This cutscene will keep on playing until I press escape. So
Well,
I did that.
either way, it's a better game outside of like comedy purposes.
Yeah, not really. You should actually play it. So in this
Well,
part,
it looks better at least.
the controls are really special in that game, because it's like arrow keys to move, which is fine, but then to do combat you have to hold down Alt and then press either the arrow keys or keys on the numpad. Jump is space, but you need to also jump the ropes and the edges of platforms, and that just doesn't work in that game. It just doesn't. Then there's also a crossbow in the game, and the crossbow you activate it by pressing Q, and then all of a sudden the game is mouse controlled. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's not a good game.
Yeah, I didn't say it was good. I think it's less shit than this.
Man, no. I like this game better. It's
yeah, like this game, it's fun because of the dumb cutscenes, but I think as a game, it's not as good.
I mean, I've not really played the actual game, but I want to say this is a better game overall. Also, that cutscene with the monkey, by the way, I think it was just exposition, because there's banana peels right there, and I think it's just there to show you that the monkey is throwing the banana peels on the ground. I think that's the reason why it's in there. Also, look at the gates right now, and keep that in mind for next episode. Also, there's this tiger that's really scary. Ooh. Alright, so next episode, and the gates have to open again. It's so dumb. I love this game though. Also, I get a little bit of control in this cutscene. So I usually just twitch my mouse around. So now we need to collect a few fruits and stuff. like the tasty fruit right there. And there's a pear that fell down this tree while we went into the tiger's cage. Don't ask me why, it's just a thing. And we need to eat the pear to actually get pear pips. And then we need to talk to the gardener up here again, because that activates a cutscene.
Here, Lord Gardener, here are the pips.
Oh, they're not very big. It's just not like in the olden days.
Well, it don't smell too good round here.
That's normal, kid. I'm trying to create the flower of 1,000 scents. It doesn't work every time. Instead of hanging about like an old magpie, go get my hoe. It's in the chest, in the copse. Here's the key.
So one thing we found out about this game is that I think I mentioned that the gardener is evil. Turns out that the Sultan, he actually stole a magical lamp from the gardener and made it his wish to become the Sultan with 5 daughters. And that's why he's the Sultan now. So I guess that's why I'm blanking out on the code right here. It's 42834, I think. But yeah, the gardener stole the magical or the Sultan stole the magical lamp from the gardener. So really, the real evil, despite what this game says, is actually the Sultan. Even though we're his henchmen, kind of. It's kind of a silly story in this game. But it's a neat twist. I did not actually expect that was actually gonna be the story. Right here we're gonna be flying out of bounds again. There's a really annoying puzzle in this level that we used to do. You need to pick up a crank and then crank some stuff with it. It turns out, however, that they left some key in the game that actually spawns the last flower we need. Or second to last, I think. And we just completely skipped that puzzle, which is a godsend, because that puzzle was actually awful. So here I press T, and this flower just appears out of nowhere. And I need to actually pick it up. Come on, Ali. You can do this. There we go. The problem with that puzzle was mostly that there's really annoying flies in that area, as well as scorpions that can poison you while you're doing the cranking thing in a cutscene, which is really evil. And the poison just doesn't wear off. You need to drink an antidote. So yeah, it's such a good thing that we can actually skip that shit. Here we pick up a few more items, and that's actually the last items we need right here. And we need to just get through the ceiling here, jump forwards once, and then fall roughly in this direction, and the episode will end eventually. And we get the crank, which is also important. Six bombs, nice. And then I should be good on bombs, I think. The episode... okay, there we go. Was a little bit late there.
You're wonderful. You are worthy of being my spouse.
The great thing about... oh wait, there's a cutscene. Hold on.
I have a pass, signed by the Grand Vizier himself.
By the Grand Vizier? In that case, you can go.
You look a bit nervous at the moment.
It's understandable. That lousy Black Moon sect is infiltrating everywhere.
But just what is this sect?
Hey, I'm no informer. You want information, you've only got to go see the town guide.
So, with regards to the third wife, because of the way it's routed, we don't actually get to see the first cutscene with her. So it looks like we just pick up a bouquet, give it to her, and she wants to marry us. Which is kind of a funny way to go about things. In this level, I'm just gonna jump backwards, and eventually we'll hit the ground, and we get a cutscene. But it's gonna be a little bit special. Eventually, hopefully.
Ah, finally. Irma the Redhead. The guide told me you could tell me about the Black Moon set.
Ah, that Mustafa. What
So
a
this is
clever
Irma.
man. He's not the only one, though. The tom-tom player, he's a talker too. In bed. He's a former sect member. I think he could inform you.
So this level used to be really long, because there's a lot of running around you do, but somebody found that you can just jump backwards there and the cutscene actually triggers once you hit a specific point. I'm not sure why. This game is just really well made. And that's all I can say to that. Right here we're gonna fight this guy who gives us a better sword. We used to joke that it was really useless because we didn't use the sword at all. Normally you are supposed to actually talk to him and give him 20 gold to actually fight. But if you throw a bomb at him, he will just initiate the fight regardless. And we get to actually get the sword without actually having to fight. And we fight a fair fight.
You were very lucky, but I keep my word. Take this weapon, and don't let me see you again.
So yeah, we were very lucky to beat him by using bombs. It was totally down to luck, yeah. So we need this sword because this guy won't actually help us
Don't tell me
otherwise.
any stories. I know you're a former member of the Black Moon set. And don't waste my time, otherwise I'll denounce you to the Grand Vizier's guards.
Oh, sure. Not so loud. I was kicked out of this sect a long time ago for incompetence. What do you want with me?
Show me the passage to the sewers.
Okay, let's go.
So in this cutscene, there used to be a bunch of enemies that would come out to kill you, but they don't anymore for some reason. And I really don't know why. They used to just try to gank you in the cutscene, but that just doesn't happen anymore. Ah, this guy got me, damn it. That's fine though. We should still be on decent health, yeah. So we're in the sewers now, and we used to pick up a magical turban, but it's not really needed anymore because the turban allowed you to cast magic spells faster, but we don't really use magic anymore, so we just jump out of bounds here, go in this direction, and there's a room where you used to fight a bunch of enemies, but we figured out that you can just clip out here, drop down, open this door, just shoot this one guy right around the corner. I missed. Hold on. This guy. Because this guy actually has the key. So all we need to do is kill him, wait for the key to actually drop, run over here, and go through this door. This is one of the levels we rerouted because of all the big changes with combat. We need to actually go through it now to actually pick up bombs and knives. Ooh, I'm getting yanked. Yeah, so combat in this game is super broken, so once you actually get stun locked by them, they will actually completely ruin you. One thing I need to do right here is make a quick save and quick load. For some reason, if you do a quick save and then reload it, it completely breaks the level, and that allows you to really quickly actually finish it. Now for this level there's a boss fight coming up, and we used to use the big fireball spell, but charging it up used to take like ages, and we don't really need that anymore, so that was a massive time save we had kind of recently. All thanks to oh, the game crashed. That's Arabian Nights in a nutshell. It just crashes, sometimes. Glad we got that out of the way. Okay, I should be... Hold on. Okay. This should be fine, though. I'm pretty much near the beginning of the level I was on. Oh, nice. I normally don't actually walk out there in the cutscene, because it's kind of janky to control. But that actually worked out nicely. It's not really a big deal, though. It doesn't really save much time. But it's kinda neat that it's actually a possibility. Stop playing the flute, Ali. I can skip that, but I'm not really in a position where I know where I am. So, if I had quick save there, I could have been lost. No, Damn it. I didn't jump. Okay, this should be fine. Except it's not. Hopefully this resets my... I need to walk. Hello? Okay, there we go. So we're gonna go behind this guy, go in stealth mode by double tapping shift, and he's dead. This guy used to take like 6 or 7 big fireballs, and every one of those took like 20-ish seconds to actually charge up. Which was just really ridiculous. Glad we don't have to fight him that way anymore. We did fight him from out of bounds, so he wasn't really a challenge. But it was still really slow.
Open up. All my papers are in order.
Are you a moron or what? You can't get out without a mount.
So we need to get a mount. And we do this by talking to this guide. And he gives a commentary on the ramparts, and it's a really boring story.
As well as the Great Gate, were built under the reign of Nureddin the Elder for protection against the barbarian invasions of the Hittites. The 4 obelisks that you can see behind you are much older. They were brought back by Nureddin III the Magnificent during the Egyptian campaign. They measure 10 meters high. And their transport necessitated more than 200 slaves and 50 camels. It is said that on account of this journey, all the camels of the region have short legs. But that is only a legend. I thank you for your attention. Even more so, because you were my 999th visitor. Come again.
So, he basically tells a story about why the camels look so fucked up in this game. Also, I'm gonna skip his second... I need to talk to him again to actually get the voucher for the camel. But I don't want to listen to him again, so... There we go. Skip the cutscene, got the voucher, and I'm gonna turn back the sound. And that's how you skip cutscenes in this game. I know it's the hottest tech in video game history.
Sorry for you,
but I just didn't want to bother with him again.
Dormitory for 1 week, all expenses paid.
Mustafa had his 1000th visitor. You can take the beast. He's ready to go. I filled him up for the week. Have a good trip.
I just noticed that he's holding cash in his hand, just like that. I've never seen that before. Also, look at where the button is to open this gate. It's on the outside of the city, which is very secure. Like, I don't understand this, honestly. And that's episode 7 already. This is the final episode of the game. We're gonna be finding one more wife, then have a good fight with the Grand Vizier. And that's almost it. Now this level, you actually don't do a lot of it, because you can jump out of bounds right here, because there's a hole. And then it's just jumping in this direction for like 30 seconds, I think. And there's a boss at the end. Now, this boss is actually, in normal play, it's actually kind of an annoying boss, because you need a ring of protection to actually not die to him. Because it's basically a Medusa, and you will basically just die if he looks at you wrong. But because we can go out of bounds, that's really not an issue, because there's the Medusa, and we're just gonna stand right on top of this ledge, right here, and we're gonna throw down 3 bombs. I think that should be enough. Oh, that's not enough. That should have been enough. Anyway, we can also throw a knife at him. I'm gonna charge it up fully, because it does more damage, I guess. And it's dead. Now, this is the final wife we're actually rescuing. Wife number 5. And that's also one of my favorite lines.
And now I'll have all the little princesses just to myself. I think I'll just take a little stroll over to the merchants. You can never be too sure.
I just like the line, have you got an obsession or what? It's totally not implying bondage at all. Also, I mentioned it's the 5th wife. The game crashed again. That's impressive. I usually only get 1 crash a run. So this is a bit unexpected. Okay, he's still dead. So I specifically mentioned it's the 5th wife.
Have you got an obsession or what?
Because we've never seen the 4th wife in the whole run. I don't actually know where she is. She's somewhere, but I honestly don't know. I assume she's in episode 6, because the 3rd wife is also in that particular episode, actually. Gonna get some more knives to actually kill the Grand Vizier. And it didn't crash this time. Let's hope I don't get stuck on the stairs, because the physics in this game are so good that you can actually get stuck on the stairs while in a cutscene. And this can actually softlock you in casual play. But if it happens here, this fight will be a little bit more annoying.
By those damned Black Moon sect fanatics. It is I who shall replace him from now on. I find we see you much too often these days, and I just wonder if you're not the cause of all our problems. In fact, you represent a threat to the kingdom, and that threat must disappear.
Okay, so I got stuck on the... I need to jump. I got stuck on the stairs there, and that's a little bit annoying, because you're not at the right distance to actually throw knives at the Vizier that way. We used to actually go out of bounds to fight this guy, but it's actually much faster to actually do it from here. Because you don't have to re-enter, because you need to pick up these parrot seeds, and you can only do that while in bounds, and getting back in bounds here is actually kind of hard. Alright, let's see, this should be fine. I'm gonna jump in this general direction, and I should land basically at the end of the level. It's not a 100% consistent setup, but it usually works out for me. Where am I? Oh, I'm in... Wow. That enemy was hitting me through the wall there. But this works out. So for this parrot, you need to actually be in the right position to actually talk to him. If you don't, the cutscene will actually softlock. It's one of those great features of this game. And this is gonna be the final level. There's not gonna be much going on in this though. You are supposed to fight with the gardener actually, because he's trapped the Sultan, but we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna jump in this direction 4 times. Hope we land in this wall. And... that's time. There's gonna be a credits cutscene. Hopefully it doesn't crash during that.
It's 39:44.
Nice. That's pretty decent for a marathon run with 2 crashes. But yeah, there's gonna be a cutscene we're gonna be watching out, hopefully.
Thank you, young Ali. Now I must return to my place on the throne. As I have the same powers as the princesses, you must embrace me, so that I can be beamed to the palace where I'll be with my daughters. They belong to you henceforth, and shall be your wives. And I appoint you Grand Vizier in place of he who failed at the task. Come on, just another little try, son. If that's not too much to order.
That prickles. I'll make up for it with my little babes.
That face at the there. Oh, this game is too good. And it crashed. Well, that's too bad, because the actual ending cutscene is really good. Hold on, let me give you a screen cap of that. There we go. Beautiful. So yeah, that's been Arabian Nights. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the actual ending scene. It's actually quality. It's the best thing in this whole game. But unfortunately, the game wasn't so kind to actually let us. I don't know why it's doing this. It used to not crash for me, but now it does. And I tried to fix it, but it doesn't work, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for having me. It's been a blast. Yeah, it's been a blast running Arabian Nights again. And yeah, I'll see you guys around.